In this episode of Dad Sews, I'm going to attempt to cut and destroy this dress and then retailer it for my mother-in-law.
Dad Sews! Dad Sews! Dad Sews! Dad Sews! Dad Sews! Dad Sews! This is how it goes with Dad Sews!
Hey everyone, thanks for joining me for another episode of Dad Sews. I truly appreciate you stopping by here, so thank you. All right, well, my mother-in-law was given this strapless dress from one of her daughters. Now, if you knew my mother-in-law, you'd know two things. One, she's never worn a strapless dress in her life for the 340 some odd years she's been living. And the other thing you would know by looking at her is this dress would get her banned in France because it would be a burqa on her. It's only about 3 feet too tall. So I'm going to attempt to cut this dress in pieces and then sew it back together so she can wear it. Now, I don't want to lose any of the beautiful design up top, of course, and I don't want to lose any of the cool design at the bottom. So what I'm going to be cutting is this middle area, and then I'm going to attempt to connect the two. Now, the top part is elastic and the bottom part is knit. So I'm not sure how it's going to go, but when she handed me this dress, we agreed on two things. One, I wasn't doing a fitting on my mother-in-law. She kind of liked that too. She said, I'm behind number one. First, you can barely ever get this woman to smile in a picture. And second, she's my freaking mother-in-law. So no, we didn't do a fitting. And the second thing that I made clear was if this is a failure, she can't yell at me. And neither can the daughter that gave her the dress. Nobody can be mad at Christian Lee. All right, so those were my ground rules. She agreed. So let's get to cutting this dress. All right, I'm gonna leave a little bit of the fabric just so that I have something to go by, but I'm gonna cut it right now. Just boom, get it done. All right, now, when she handed me this dress, I said, oh my goodness. I don't ever need to be internet famous. My mother-in-law is handing me a dress to fix. This is news enough. All right, now I'm just gonna fold this up. And I'm going to go ahead and trim this so that I will have a piece to connect it to. Now, I want to save this cool, beautiful design here. It's a pretty dress. And then I'm going to give it a cut. All right, here we go. Point of no return. Once you cut it, you're done, right? All right, here we go. I'm not even going to worry about if it's straight. We'll straighten it out when we sew it. All right, here we go. All right. And now I guess I have a halter top. What do you think, guys? I don't know. Maybe it's an infinity scarf. Sure, we'll go with that. All right, well, I'm going to take the stretchy elastic piece and I'm going to trim the rest of this fabric off, and then we're going to pin it to the dress and try to make something new with our Juki DX 2000 QVP, all right? I'll be right back. All right, now it is not easy to pin elastic to any other fabric, let alone another stretchy fabric. But here's a tip. Find the seam in each piece and pin them on each side. So you've got each seam pinned. Then stretch out the elastic and put a pin in the middle of the piece of fabric and the elastic. Do the same to each middle. Now, you can keep doing that until you have 100 pins and it's all stretched out. I don't really recommend that because you're going to have so many pins in your way while you're sewing. What I do is just a couple middle pieces, and then you make sure that you pull your elastic and stretch as you sew. You can also use a wonder clip in between your pins. This will hold your fabric together, but it's a little more loosey-goosey and you can slide it around to your liking. All right, let's start with this sew. All right, I've chosen stitch number 7 on my Juki, and I've taken the table attachment off. That way I can rotate the dress around the front of the machine. All right, foot down with a simple click of a button, and then let's sew just a bit while pulling the elastic tight. just go ahead and slow down my speed just a little. Juki makes that easy with this dial up front. It has a turtle on one side and a rabbit on the other. And if you can't figure that out, then you've got more problems than sewing. All right, now I have to remember to keep pulling the elastic nice and tight, because if I don't, I'm not going to make it around to where this next pin is. Now, you don't want to pull too hard on your elastic, or your machine's not going to want to pull it. So it's definitely a little bit of work trying to figure out how much pressure you can put on that elastic and on your machine needle. You don't want that to break. All right, it's a little bit tedious, but you just keep working your way around. All right, this looks pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can finish going around, and about halfway through, I'll stop and I'll give you an update, all right? All right, something is definitely wrong here. I'm pulling the elastic to try to keep everything even, but I've just got too much fabric left. I've got to see exactly what's wrong with this. All right, I've been stretching this top out as I sew, but there's just more and more skirt fabric, and I'm not sure what's going on. So I'm just going to take my seam ripper and I'm going to rip this seam that I put in and see if I can figure out what the problem is. Well, I seam ripped the skirt, and when I did it, I just straight up ripped the skirt. Yeah, that's not what you want. Hello. See, the top can only stretch this far, about the width of my shoulders. The skirt, well, I could disappear in it like a magic act. I just couldn't stretch this enough to get all this fabric in properly. I guess I probably should have used a ruffler foot, like I did with my daughter's 3-tiered ruffle dress. But I'm not sure if I can salvage this. And now, not only have I not completed the project and I have a fail, I have to tell my mother-in-law I screwed up her dress. I am not looking forward to this. If you have any ideas how I can do this properly and finish this project, please leave me a message below in the comments section. Hopefully I see it and she hasn't killed me by then. Margaret, I'm very sorry, but your dress, it didn't come out right.
You really screwed this up.
No, Margaret, there's no need to...
Run!
Hey, don't forget to check out my favorite sponsor, Fabricut. Oh, look, there's some of their deals right there. Awesome. And there's a link below for an exclusive deal just for DadSews viewers on the Juki DX 2000 QVP line. It's the best price you'll find online or in the nation for that Juki machine. Yeah, they love DadSews viewers. I do too. Look at it one more time and say, okay, I talk.
How many takes do we have to
Just
do?
a couple. It takes a couple. Working with animals and old ladies takes a lot.
Amen.
This production is brought to you by the Plaid Dad Blog Podcast Network. For more information, visit us at plaiddadblog.com.